When I was about 10 years old, I went round to my best friend's house one day after school. He showed me this game he'd just got, Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. I was blown away. This game was amazingly cool. And with me being 10 at the time, I think I had a PEGI rating of about 12 plus, so this was not a game I was familiar with. My parents took the age rating on the front of the box really seriously, and I'm pretty sure I didn't play Call of Duty until I borrowed it from a friend at about 15 to prove to my parents I wasn't gonna become a complete psycho if I played it. The parkour, the rewind mechanic, the combat, the Prince of Persia, I just didn't think games could quite be like this. And for reference, I'd always only played like licensed titles, like Scooby Doo, Night of 100 Frights, The Simpsons Hit and Run, Meet the Robinsons. Meet the Robinsons, yeah, but I haven't play it. I will stand by the fact that it's an amazing game. But I will still have a good time with these games today. But it just kind of opened my eyes to what games could truly be. The ironic thing about me starting the video this way is I've never played Prince of Persia series again since the age of 10 years old. Apart from last year when I started to play the Lost Crown, which I really enjoyed, I just never got back around to it. So my memory's pretty hazy of what the game even looks like. Editing this video will be the first time I even see the footage and looked at the gameplay since then. I'll definitely be making a video and playing, well, I'll be playing and then making a video about the Sands of Time before if the remake ever comes out next year. Well, I don't know when it's supposed to come out, but if the remake ever comes out. But please give me a bit more of your time to explain to you the controversial statement as to why I'm a Ubisoft shill. Firstly, I just want to say, when I play a game, I don't want every single one to be as good as The Last of Us, for instance, because then every game would be as good as The Last of Us, and that would just be the default. It wouldn't be special, it wouldn't stand out. Also, imagine if every game was as good as this. You imagine the development time of these hypothetical games. We would have had about 3 to 4 Assassin's Creed games since its debuted. In short, I want my experience with a game to be fun, moving, or thought provoking. If a game is a masterpiece, then isn't that just a plus in this hobby we partake in? I know this might be controversial, but I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. One of the main reasons I started this channel was to have conversations with people in the gaming space, so I'd love to hear your takes in the comments below. And if you want more content like this, maybe subscribe or give me a like or tell me what you want in the comments below. That would mean a lot to me. Thank you. Anyway, moving on. Right, so the natural progression here is me going to gush about Assassin's Creed, as it was originally planned to be a Prince of Persia game, but I believe there was a Ubisoft game I played before this, Beyond Good and Evil, a game that has very recently turned the legal drinking age in America, which makes me feel so bloody old. It was developed by Ubisoft Montpellier in 2003. You play as Jade in the year 2435 on a distant planet called Hillis. Basically, you have to stop an alien invasion with your Uncle Paige, who's a big old pig. And it's not an insult, he's just a literal pig. This game makes me feel something. I could play this game forever and never get bored. The world feels so big and immersive, but it's not big or overwhelming. It's actually quite small. And all the residents of this planet are either human or anthropomorphic animals, obviously, such as goats, rhinos, and cows, and the like. And with Jade being a photographer, one of the side things you can do in the game is find and take photos of all these species on the planet. It will either be the residents or creatures hidden away in the different sections on Hillis. You get rewarded, of course, with credits or the orbs you get in the game, tracking them down and taking a perfect snapshot of these creatures, and it really makes you appreciate the design and work that got put into them by the 30-man dev team, which to me is crazy. There's only 30 people on this game. Basically, the plot revolves around you joining the Iris network, which is a resistance against the government who have been possessed by the aliens trying to invade your planet, or something like that. You do quests on the planet to progress the story, of course, opening areas with access cards you couldn't previously get an entry to before. It's a bit Metroidvania like that, maybe a little bit watered down. It's great fun, and I won't speak too much on any of these games because I would love to do longer individual videos on them down the line, but I just want to give you a brief little overview of my opinion on them. Oh, and as a kid, I awed at the trailer for the second game, and I'm not talking about the one released in 2017. I'm talking about the Scrap sequel, which released its trailer in 2008. Researching this video, I found out that it was supposed to be a trilogy. Maybe by the time I'm dead, they'll have cobbled together a trilogy consisting of the original, the prequel that might come out, and the pipe dream of having a game based on the trailer from 2008. This is the one thing I hold a grudge with Ubisoft for, nothing else. Oh, and the music? Oh, chef's kiss. Thankfully, they released it recently on Spotify because of the 20th year anniversary of the game. I highly recommend you give it a listen, and if you only have time for one, make it Home Sweet Home. Now, I could sit all day and talk about how much I'm a fan of Assassin's Creed. And I love every game. I don't even like every game. I'm looking at you, Valhalla. But that's fine. People love Valhalla. I know people who say that's their favourite Assassin's Creed game. And I love that. There's something for everyone in this series, whether you want to be a pirate, a Viking, or soon a samurai. For me, this series started with Assassin's Creed 2, which I think will be the majority of people's first game who are around my age. I won't bore you with the details, as you probably already know how brilliant Ezio is. I think this is a game I'd recommend to someone who wants to get into Assassin's Creed, who are in it for the story. I know people would say that story's out of the window now. I've got to admit, I'm not 100% sure what the story is at the moment. I have to educate myself on that again. But I think it's brilliant. You can just mostly pick and choose what game you want to pick up based on the vibes, especially for newcomers. Also, you've got to admit, there's only a handful of games that can be used for educational purposes. I've seen teachers on TikTok using Odyssey to show ancient Greece and their history lessons. My girlfriend, who's never played an Assassin's Creed game, was messing around on Origins because of the tour guide mode in that game. It's just brilliant and not something you see other game companies do. What I'm saying is, I love the experimentation Ubisoft do with this franchise. How do we get from playing Altair in 1191 in the first game to playing as the pirate in the Caribbean, and then back to a game set all the way in 42 BC in Odyssey? It's wild. As a self-proclaimed Ubisoft shill, obviously I have favourites, so here we go. Assassin's Creed 2 because of the story, Assassin's Creed Unity because of the parkour and graphics, Assassin's Creed Odyssey because I absolutely love the setting, and the most recent game, Mirage, as I needed a break from the RPG style games, and I loved how tight and focused that game was, and it felt like a callback to the older games, which I know people got bored of, and that's why they went to the RPG type games. I really enjoy the old type games. I think a lot of other people do too. Can you imagine? I know, and also I know there's a lot of games in the pipeline there over there at Ubisoft for Assassin's Creed, but I'd love maybe once every 2-3 years get an RPG game, and then once every year, who knows, we get a smaller Assassin's Creed game. Who knows? I would love that. I will talk about each Assassin's Creed game in depth, with each of them being individual videos. Yes, every single one. Even Bloodlines, which I've never played. This series is up there with my favourite game series ever. It's up there with Resident Evil, The Last of Us, Ratchet and Clank, so of course I'm going to stick up for it, even if they sometimes miss with their games. This channel is not me ignoring the problems with games companies, or even the industry as a whole. It's more of me just covering and focusing on the good. Watch Dogs is not a series I have as much knowledge on or game time on as an AC, mainly because there's only 3 of them, but also because I only ever played them all once through. I know it's something that needs to change, but obviously there's many similarities to Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed, which is why it always made me think we could do a modern Assassin's Creed game, but that's for another video. But I think the main one I'm thinking about right now is a completely different vibe of each game. Yes, each game gets lighter in tone from the very dark first game, but personally it just shows that yes, it can be done. and in many ways prefer Watch Dogs 2 to 1 for this reason. I mean, it's so cool that in Watch Dogs 2 you get to choose if you want to use guns with rubber bullets, and you can play the whole game without killing anyone for that reason. You're a hacktivist at the end of the day. Legion I know is people's least favourite, but I think if you had a solo protagonist it would have been a lot better received, and I completely understand that. It's like you're playing AC gang with endless assassins in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. It's hard to connect emotionally with them. It's hardly possible at all unless you create your own story for each character you have in this team. However, I mention again, I love the experiment for their game log. I understand it's easier though to do this when most of your games follow the same basic formula. Main story, go explore the open world, just spot an outpost, same basic game, different colour of paint. But if you like the basic formula of the game, you're in for a winner with Ubisoft. Watch Dogs is just bloody fun. I'm realising now I need to replay games before I talk about them. I haven't played a Watch Dogs game all the way through since the release of Legion in 2020. I'll remember that going forward though. But yes, very good games. I'd say 2 is my favourite, and I wish we would get more of them, but I don't think that's going to happen now. I cannot believe the amount of hate this game got when it was released. Well, I guess I could, but it was mostly from people who haven't played the game. And let me preface this by saying I paid £15 for this game with Ubisoft Plus on my Xbox Series S. So yes, I got a good deal, but it was not the optimal way to play. But damn did I have fun. Exploring these planets in the Star Wars universe, some of which we've seen in the films and some completely new ones, connecting threads from other films that never got resolved. It's a great experience. I couldn't believe I could just explore Tatooine, Mos Eisley. It looked like I thought it looked when I played Star Wars Battlefront as a kid. And this was on my Series S. I can't wait to replay this along with the DLC on my PS5 when I have the time. You know, it's funny, I don't usually partake in mini games in open world games like this. I never got into the game in Horizon or Gwent in The Witcher, but damn, I love Sabak. When I wrote the script for this, I literally got sidetracked and looked at Sabak sets on eBay and Etsy because I'm remembering how great and fun it was, and I wish I could play it in real life. It was so addicting to play, and we can't recommend playing Star Wars Outlaws just for Sabak alone. It was great because you can unlock some cosmetics, you could unlock abilities to help you in other Sabak games and the hard difficulty ones. It's so fun. Some of the other activities, like cooking and racing, left me wanting more. I felt like you could have had a whole pod racing minigame on Tatooine. Could you imagine? Oh my god. But we got Sabak, and that is great. I'm so happy they made a Star Wars game without a lightsaber. I know it's been done before, but for this type of game, amazing. It's a brilliant change of pace from the Respawn games following Cal Kestis, even though I love them. I absolutely enjoyed the story, the characters, the gameplay. I'm pretty sure they even improved certain features such as stealth since launch, which was definitely needed. So I recommend this title now, especially if you're a Star Wars fan, and you can probably find it on discount for 35, 40 pounds or dollars. I'm not sure, but give it a try. And that's it. A bit of a shorter one today, but those are my 4 titles I chose to express my love for Ubisoft. Of course, there's more like Far Cry, Rayman, Splinter Cell, but these are the ones that mean the most to me and the ones I have most fun with. Just have fun playing games. Don't look for the flaws. I promise you will enjoy them more. If you're looking for pop-in or textures not loading quick enough, then of course you're going to have a negative outlook on it. But if you just sit back, play the game and enjoy it, you will have a better time. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed some of the reasons to why I'm a Ubisoft shill. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. But for today, that's all from Game Matter, and I will see you next week with a new video.